This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
It's a time to hunker down, Hoosiers, and play by the rules. That's what we do. And as a team, together, we're going to remain Indiana strong.
COVID-19 continues to increase its grip on Indiana, but the state announces a new plan to better equip hospitals for an increase in patients and the renewed call to stay home.
COVID-19 has a lot of people thinking about death and their own mortality. I'm Kara Kenny with some important steps you can take to protect your assets and your family.
And many people are no longer receiving paychecks and worried if they can't pay rent, they'll get evicted. Working for you, we find out what you can do to be prepared and protect yourself. Good evening, I'm Amanda Starrentino, coming to you from the RTV6 studios.
And I'm Mark Mullins, broadcasting from a temporary studio in my home. We are taking social distancing very seriously, so much so that we now have miles between us.
And it's our commitment to help stop the spread of COVID-19 while still providing you the news that you need.
And first at 6 o'clock here, the state reports 3 more deaths related to COVID-19 or coronavirus. 35 people in Indiana have now died from the virus. The Department of Health says 1,786 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. That's an increase of 272 patients in a 24-hour span. And more than 11,600 have been tested for coronavirus in Indiana. That's about 1,800 more than had been tested yesterday. Over the weekend, U.S. Surgeon General and former Indiana State Health Commissioner Jerome Adams called Indianapolis an emerging hot spot for COVID-19. He tweeted that Indy, along with some other major cities, need to focus on flattening the curve and raising the bar when it comes to the fight against COVID-19. And on top of continuing to social distance ourselves and more testing, Adams said raising the bar means obtaining new resources and reallocating current resources to best deal with coronavirus. Adams didn't talk about the needs of Indianapolis specifically and did not offer specific solutions for the Circle City in his tweets.
With coronavirus numbers increasing, the state of Indiana has a plan to bring in more supplies for local hospitals to deal with the growing pandemic. RTV6's Cameron Riddle has been working for you following the state's response to COVID-19 since the beginning. Cameron, what are you finding out tonight?
Hey, Amanda, so we are getting answers to questions that we've been asking for days now, including how many beds does Indiana have and just how prepared is the state for the tidal wave of coronavirus cases that is apparently headed to our hospitals. Today, we got answers to those questions and then some. Take a look at these numbers. In anticipation for a surge in cases, Indiana will have just shy of 2,000 beds. State officials say that they will be accomplishing that by turning every single hospital bed into a coronavirus patient bed if they are in the condition and needs that. The governor's executive order issued today also suspended all elective surgeries. That not only frees up healthcare workers, but also frees up the literal room you would have had the surgery in. State officials also revealed that as of March 1st, Indiana has 1,177 ventilators. They say an additional 750 are on the way. Now, in the event that all of those resources are gone, the state has a secondary plan to start pop-up hospitals using facilities that are already standing.
As needed, our State Health Commissioner, Dr. Box, will direct that recently closed facilities, such as a hospital in Michigan City, a hospital in St. Joseph County, be opened. And the state will use new rehabilitation facilities in places such as Clark County and St. Joe County to serve as step-down beds for non-critically ill patients.
And the state says they are constantly reassessing when they will need to do pop-up hospitals or use those hospitals that are already standing vacant right now. State officials also say Indiana has 2,000 ambulances that can be used to transport Hoosiers to the hospital from the 1/3 of Indiana counties that do not have its own hospital. Also included in today's large drop of data is new information about the arrival of that personal protection gear for our healthcare workers. State officials say 285 deliveries have already made its way to Indiana hospitals. We're live tonight at the State House. I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Thanks for that update, Cameron. And the COVID-19 pandemic is prompting a lot of people to draw up wills. The idea might seem morbid, but estate planning attorneys say it's not a bad idea at all to start planning for the future, coronavirus or not. RTV6 reporter Kara Kenny is finding out what steps you can be taking now to protect your assets and your family.
COVID-19 has a lot of people thinking about death and their own mortality. Trust and estate attorneys say they're actually busier than normal as a result. Rebecca Geyer is an estate planning and elder law attorney with a practice in Carmel.
I've received quite a lot of calls actually from physicians who need assistance, who are on the front lines dealing with this crisis, but even everyday folks who are just concerned that they might contract something and it could impact their family quite a bit.
Geyer says it's a smart thing to create a will and power of attorney document, regardless of the coronavirus.
And power of attorney is a separate document. It allows someone to act for you in the event of a disability, or if you're simply unable to act for yourself, you can't be physically present, for example, in order to handle a financial transaction, or it could be to make a healthcare decision.
In light of COVID-19, the state has made it easier to get important documents notarized remotely, or you can even apply yourself to be a notary. Rebecca says she's doing most of her business over the phone and computer.
We do offer execution, of course, in person, but we follow social distancing rules. But right now, my office is working remotely, and we're typically only meeting with clients if we absolutely have to in order to execute documents on an in-person basis.
You can do all of this while social distancing. You can use your phone to research and gather your documents at home, and most attorneys will finalize a plan via email and phone. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
The largest hospital in Indiana has moved all of its NICU babies to make room for adult COVID-19 patients. IU Health Methodist Hospital in downtown Indianapolis transported patients from the neonatal intensive care unit last week. The NICU babies were sent to other hospitals, including Riley Hospital for Children. IU Health says this will help keep vulnerable pediatric patients in a safe environment while also making space for adult patients. The YMCA of Greater Indianapolis has expanded its child care services to parents who are considered essential workers during the coronavirus pandemic. The WISE program for kids ages 5 to 12 has been added to Baxter, Hendricks Regional Health, Ursay Family, Jordan, and the Witham Family YMCA facilities. It has already been running at the Benjamin Harrison location. Some Hoosiers now are out of work, and they're trying to figure out how they'll pay for rent this month. Troy Washington is working for you to answer some of the questions that many renters may have right now.
RTV6 has been talking with attorneys who tell us they've been fielding calls left and right from renters who are concerned during this time.
Tenants are very afraid right now, and for good reason. I mean, again, we've never seen anything like this.
Troy Tyson is busy right now trying to help those in fear of eviction due to circumstances brought on by COVID-19. He says even though the governor made a call that helps bring relief, there's still worry.
The governor issued an executive order a couple of weeks ago that's going to stay all eviction activity. So any evictions that were already in place are frozen for the time being. But he makes clear in that order that tenants are to continue to pay their rent.
He thinks landlords and judges will extend some grace and mercy to those impacted.
We're dealing with a humanitarian issue here before it's a legal issue, okay, and before it's a financial issue.
But he says right now it's best not to rely on that notion. He advises renters to try to pay on time and to do their best to work out something with their landlord because, according to Tyson, landlords prefer to avoid the eviction process as well.
Tenants should make every effort to try and abide by their agreement as much as possible, beginning and ending with paying that rent on time.
For renters like Nick Tolliver, the impact of layoffs related to the coronavirus is hitting full force.
We have one paycheck left, which we could pay our bills for this month, but it's the following. It's not getting any better.
He and his wife both aren't working right now as they shelter in place to slow the spread of the virus. Now they're also worried they won't be able to pay the full amount that is due for their mobile home and could face late fees.
All they said was go to your local trustee's office, which they're closed.
And he isn't alone. Other tenants feel the exact same way.
They rely on their job. That's the only source of income they got. So when these people get laid off and these people can't afford to pay their rent, they're going to lose their homes. and then their family's going to be out on the street because they got nowhere to go.
I have family that lives in here, but I also have friends, too, that are going through the same thing, that are legit barely feeding their families because of what's going on.
This family knows this too shall pass, but right now it's hard to see what the future holds. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And if you are facing a similar scenario, we've got resources on our website that could help you. Check those out when you read this story on the IndyChannel.com or on the RTV6 app.
The city of Indianapolis has announced progress in its goal to help small businesses, especially those in the food and beverage industry, stay afloat during the COVID-19 outbreak. Today, Mayor Joe Hogsett and the Indy Chamber announced nearly $3 million donated toward their $10 million goal for a small business support loan fund. Many local businesses, including restaurants, have either completely shut down or have gone to delivery and carry-out only services, hurting their bottom line. The Capital Improvement Board, Anthem, and the Indianapolis Local Public Improvement Bond Bank all donated money to this cause.
We are in week 2 of Indiana's stay-at-home order. Here's a quick refresher of what you can do and what you can't. Well, the order requires all Hoosiers to stay home unless you need to get out for necessities such as food, medicine, or taking care of a loved one. You can leave home if your field of work is considered essential. All non-essential businesses are supposed to be closed during this order. The stay-at-home order is in effect till April 7th, but it can be reassessed or adjusted if necessary. Indiana's stay-at-home order doesn't mean you can't go outside and enjoy the spring weather. The State Department of Health says you can take a walk, play in your backyard, breathe in fresh air, the outdoors, and get some vitamin D from the sun. You can do this as long as you practice social distancing outside and stay at least 6 feet away from other people. The coronavirus pandemic continues to develop and impact us in different ways, and that's why we put everything you need to know in one place. Just go to our website, theindychannel.com.
After a wet weekend, we are starting to dry out around central Indiana. We got a big dose of sun, but the wind helped keep temperatures a little cooler than normal. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Kevin, what are you tracking now?
Amanda, I think we need sunshine more than ever, don't we? And there's some more of that in the forecast. We need the wind to calm down, too. If you're wondering, 52 was our peak gust yesterday, 39 miles per hour today. Tomorrow, under 10 miles per hour, generally speaking, for the wind, so it will be much calmer. Just want to show you right now, it's a cooler northwest wind that will take over, and that's going to deliver the coolest day of the week tomorrow. Next 24 hours will be our coolest. Highs will be stuck in the 40s. You're in the 40s in Peru now, 57 in the metro area. Just want to point out where we're headed as you go through the nighttime tonight, back into the 30s. But mainly dry for the work week, much calmer wind coming. Those are some headlines and a warmer end to the week. Take you deeper into those headlines, and of course it's never too early to look at the weekend. We'll do that shortly.
They are famous for steak burgers, but now Steak and Shake restaurants are doing what they can to help feed communities all over central Indiana. Coming up, we'll show you how they're helping those on the front lines.
I've been asked to bring you inside the Connor Daly Technology Center.
And it's a whole new world for IndyCar as it awaits its season opener later this spring. I'm Dave First, how Connor Daly is using iRacing in the most entertaining way. Coming up here on RTV6.
Check up at Golden Oak Lending.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
RTV6 has been shining a light on some of the area restaurants that have remained open during the COVID-19 shutdown.
And one popular chain continues serving up its famous steak burgers, and they're staying connected to their communities. Brad Brown has a closer look.
For more than 85 years, Steak and Shake has been a go-to option for diners looking for that famous taste of a classic burger and fries. Now, Steak and Shake is being a to-go option, with dining rooms shut down all over the state.
Drive-through is very constant for us. We're drive-through, carry-out, delivery. That's always been a constant for us. So it hasn't been a huge change, to be honest. Obviously, we've shut our dining room down, so the face-to-face interaction has gone away. But the drive-through, it's always been constant for us.
With their corporate headquarters in downtown Indianapolis and more than a dozen locations in the area, Steak and Shake keeps close ties to central Indiana.
Since this happened, we've had great support in the community. We've been out, as you saw, we have Sizzle and Shaker out there with the community. We've been around to the local businesses, handing out coupons for free shakes. I think we like to rally around the community.
And now they're offering essential deals, giving 20% off to anyone working on the front lines of the COVID-19 battle. Medical staff, first responders, delivery drivers, and more.
It's great. I mean, it's an honor to be able to be here for the community, salute the people that are doing, what needs to be done here, and us being able to be here for them.
A little taste of comfort, a little nostalgia, and hopefully soon a seat in one of those cozy booths. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
And most Steak and Shake restaurants in our area remain open, and while they're usually going 24 hours, currently each location has different times for service. You can find those hours online. And head to our website, theindychannel.com. It's up right now on your screen. When you are there, you'll see an entire list of restaurants and other businesses that are still open to serve you.
Well, there's only one for now in my yard. I have a few predictions this week. There'll be a lot more dandelions by the end of the week. You'll hear your neighbor's lawnmower at some point, and then also you will not need your umbrella for most of the work week. That's the good news. Spring is starting to change across Central. I think the colors, deep greens and also some blues. Looks like my computer here messed up for a second. So what we may do, did you guys lose it back there? Just tell me if you can still see it online back at the station. Yeah. So we'll need to come back here in a second. I'll kind of reload and then we'll go to Mark and then I'll be back. Give me 1 second, okay?
All right, Kevin, we'll see you in just a little bit as we work out that glitch here. Hey, IndyCar is still aiming to open its season in Detroit on May 30th. And until then, they started a 6-event schedule of iRacing. And if nothing else, it was a chance for fans to enjoy the daily experience. Day first with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
The sun was out in St. Petersburg, seemed to be the perfect conditions to open the IndyCar season, but then crews and drivers learned that COVID-19 would cancel the first 4 races.
I'm just still like, I don't even know. People ask me, what do you think? I'm like, I have no idea. The first of 6.
And a few days after IndyCar's first iRacing challenge, virtual racing at historic Watkins Glen, that sentiment really hasn't changed.
Connor, little did we know when we talked in St. Pete before the weekend was canceled that a couple weeks later we'd talk about iRacing. This is a sign of the times, I guess, huh?
Yeah, who would have thought? To be honest, I didn't know many of the drivers knew what video games were, and now we're all playing them against each other.
Saturday's virtual race was won by 25-year-old Sage Karam, a self-described iRacing expert. While further back in the field, this was the video from Tony Kanaan's car.
What the hell, man? Clearly, though, we have 2 sets of drivers. We have those that are married and have kids and have never done this sort of thing before, and we have the younger set who have been glued to this for years.
There are guys who are, really putting stress on their relationship by dedicating hours to the simulator. This is it right here. It's very exciting.
Daly might be a bit more carefree. In fact, he has his own camera feed on Twitch.com.
Oh my gosh! There was a man and he was flying.
And might have the most fun of anyone.
Clearly, the bottom line for you is you like to have fun with this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care at all how I do, and I think that's probably the best way to go about it, because we don't win anything, but we're trying to put on a show.
Once things get back to the real thing, Connor will pilot the U.S. Air Force Chevrolet on the road and street courses, plus the Indy 500, all for Ed Carpenter Racing. But for now,
we got to be smart. We got to be safe. We got to do the right thing that, folks with bigger brains than I are telling us to do. And hopefully that'll mean that we can get back to, the stuff that we love sooner rather than later.
And race fans can't wait. Day first, RTV6 Sports. Hey, we're saluting seniors this spring who have found their last season possibly canceled because of COVID-19. And tonight we head to Center Grove High School. An RTV6 senior salute to pole vaulter Taylor Jarosinski. She returns as the one to beat in the state after finishing 3rd in the state meet a year ago. The former gymnast helping the Trojans literally reach new heights with the track program. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to nominate a spring sport athlete, email me at dave.first@wrtv.com.
Well,
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 6. We now know when the Tokyo Summer Olympics will take place after being postponed. Tokyo organizers say the opening ceremony will happen on July 23rd, 2021. That is almost exactly 1 year after the games were due to start this year. Last week, the International Olympic Committee and Japanese organizers postponed the Olympics because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Now, when it comes to your health, the coronavirus, the cold, and the flu all have similar symptoms, so it's important to point out the differences. Take a look at this chart from the Cleveland Clinic and the CDC. It shows with coronavirus, you could have a sore throat, cough, fever, body aches, tiredness and shortness of breath, or trouble breathing. With a cold, you usually won't have a fever, and the flu, you'll have all the same symptoms as coronavirus, except headaches and sneezing are often common with the flu. You don't typically find that with the coronavirus. And another reminder here, social distancing and good hygiene are key components in slowing or stopping the spread of coronavirus. Health experts say you should wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. You should wet your hands first before applying the soap. If soap and water are not available, hand sanitizer is the next best thing, but make sure it contains at least 60% alcohol. Well, if you're looking for a bit of a positive news as we deal with the worldwide pandemic, we've got some in our RTV6 photo of the day.
Meet this newborn calf from Rush County named Corona. The Hall family has a tradition of naming the baby cows, and so they named this one Corona, definitely a sign of the times, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. The calf is the first born in 2020 on the Hall Farm in Rush County. They've been raising cattle for more than 40 years. Look at that. What a cute little baby cow there.
So cute. Please help give everyone a daily dose of good news. Email your photo of the day to news@WRTV.com. If we choose your picture, we'll air it here on the News at 6. Again, that email is news@WRTV.com.
We want to thank you for watching RTV6 News at 6. We leave you now with a live view from our Weather Now camera at the IMS Pagoda. Up next here on RTV6 is World News with David Muir, and we'll see you back here at 7 o'clock.